Hello and welcome to my knife channel. Well, I have here a Rough Ryder Carnivore Jack. And one of the unique things about this, one of them, besides it being a Carnivore Jack, is the model number. 2020. I mean, you've got to get a 2020 knife. It comes in this box right here, which is one of those magnetic boxes. And it has like the background of like a big old steak or something in there. It says the Meat Eater's Pocket Knife. And then back here on the back, it says Carnivore Jack is a personal two-bladed steak knife based on a traditional pattern. It features one plain blade and one separated blade for whatever your meat cutting needs might be. Carry it wherever you eat. So it would work on a veggie burger also. I mean, you can be a vegetarian and still like it. I just got it in. All I've done is cleaned it out and looked it over. And let me see if I can get this guy to zoom. See, it says hand-built on the shield now. It's got the R stamp on it and the pinch bolsters on either end. A little stripe there. The bone is dark on this side and lighter on this side, kind of like a lighter brown. The back finish here is really well done for a Rough Ryder. This thing is only $15 with this slip, which is, I'd pay $5 for this alone, just this slip, because it works. The one that I had with the dog bone jack has gone missing. I've got the knife, but the particular slip has gone missing, so I'm going to make sure I keep a hold of this one. But anyways, let's get back to the knife. As far as the blades go, I was watching Jersey Knife Guy today, and he was talking about a knife blades that weren't centered. On traditionals, it doesn't really bother me. You can see this one is halfway decent, and then it comes down here, and it starts getting on that side. And this one's the same way. I'm not really worried about that on a traditional knife. What I'm more concerned about is, does it strike that liner? You know, is it not just hugging it, but actually scraping it? And you can see no corresponding scrape marks in there. And I've opened this and closed it a couple of times. It did come kind of gunky, but I cleaned it out. This is where this little tool comes in real handy also. You just put a paper towel with oil in there, and it just gets right in that track and cleans it right out. And the half stop, that's also where you're going to get a lot of your gunkiness. Now, this appears to be cast metal on a lot of this, so it's just all in how they finished it. But like I said, it's done pretty well. The main blade, and also on the tang, they're now spelling it Rough Ryder with a Y, and it's a double R, you know, like the mirror R. So you know you've got a newer knife if you see this, because they went back to, I mean, you know, I guess some of the original ones might have had a Y in there, but that's something that they've come back with. Now, the half stop on this one is stronger, and it locks up real well. Here's something you won't always see very, you know, is like really good surface finish on here, but this knife, even though it doesn't look like it has a good interface or a lockup on it, the serrated blade works better. I mean, it snaps into place better. Whoops. Let me get this. I'm trying to unzoom and I hit the wrong button. Alright, yeah. So yeah, on the shield side, you're going to have your main blade, which is just a straight blade. I haven't sharpened these or anything. All I've done is cleaned it. It has a nice swedge on top right there, and it looks like they did a pretty even grind on this one. Fairly good job on that. It's RR2020 in China back here. This is not etched. Or is it? Yeah, it is. Yeah, before these were, they were with that paint, but now they're etched in there. So if you want to take it off, you're going to have to go a lot deeper than that. But I like the model number in there, and China, might as well put it in there. Take it or leave it. Country of origin. But yeah, this is a really nice knife, and this slip, it fits in there real well. Like Jersey Knife Guy says, you should get some mink oil or some kind of like leather treatment type stuff and start forming the knife to it if you want it, to be specifically for this one. If I can find my other slip like this, then I will, but I checked my cargo pockets and everything else, and I'm gonna find it. It's somewhere in here. I didn't go very far, but yeah, I really like this knife. Let me pause and get the weight on it. Alright, so it'll come out in ounces first. 2.9, or pretty close to 3 ounces. Let me switch it over to grams. Tinka, 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 tink. 83.28 grams. Alright, the main blade is about 2.5 inches cutting edge, or about 6.6 centimeters. Same for the serrated blade, except you've got a little tiny straight edge section here at the end. But yeah, very nice serrations. Let's see how the serrated stuff does on cardboard. Yeah, it does a pretty good job. Alright, let's try. That would be like a little tougher steak if your steak is as tough as cardboard. Like they cooked it a little too long. Yep, nice and sharp out of the box. So yeah, it's a pretty nice knife, considering what you get. I mean, you get a little slip that you can drop other knives into, so you can pocket carry. Sometimes if that's all you got in the bottom of your pocket, that's fine. You don't need a slip or anything if it's smaller. But when they start getting bigger or anything, it's better to clip them to the inside of your pocket just so they'll be more accessible. They'll be right there where your hand can get it instead of have to dig around in the bottom. And you won't have other junk get into it. I mean, if you're carrying coins in your pocket, you can get like dimes and stuff stuck in there, and pocket lint and all the other crap, and a slip avoids that. These are nice size. Like I said, I really enjoy this so far. I really like this knife. For $15, you can't beat it with a stick. Even a little stick. Alright, we'll try to beat it with a stick. There. It's not hurting it, but I'm beating it with a stick. It's about the only way that you're going to be able to beat this knife is with a stick. So thank you for watching, and have a nice day. Alright, I'm going to try to adjust blade centering on this thing. See how this works. I'm not hitting real hard. I've got it supported by the tang. I'm just going to see if this affects it centering at all. No. See, I thought about putting it up here and trying to bend just that part, but yeah, usually on a traditional knife, if it's off center like this, you can see that mine's not hitting the liners. It looks like it's just like hugging that, but it doesn't hit it. I mean, when it closes. So for me, that doesn't bother me. I mean, yeah, it's not centered, but what would bother me more is if the blade hit these, if it had other blades, if it started, hitting other blades, or if this hit a pin down here and started putting a dent in the knife every time it closed. But as far as centering goes on a traditional, if it's like this, it doesn't bother me at all. I mean, you could try. I thought about, like you put the tang in a vise, you heat up the tang with a torch, and then you try to just like bend it with a pair of pliers and everything. Seems like a lot to go for, you know. I mean, it's only, like, this one's a $15 knife, but I mean, if it's only a $12 knife and you want to try it, go for it, you know, if it bothers you that much. Or but yeah, it doesn't really bother me on a traditional knife. Now, yeah, on a knife that has a pivot that you can adjust and everything, I try to get those centered. But if I get blade play, if I got it centered and everything, and it opens up real quick, but I get blade play, then that's no good for me. I don't want it to be wiggling around, you know, the blade wiggling around. I want it to be solid when it's in there. I don't care how well it flicks and everything else like that. That's just a fidget feature. You know, it has nothing to do with knife performance. But yeah, I'd seen this before, and I had attempted, I think, at one time to try to bend this a little bit. And that's when I just told myself, you know, the blade maybe slightly curved this way, but I'm not going to stick it in this and then start, well, you know, I am doing that right now. The problem is you risk snapping a blade. Usually, like metal, especially if it's got a little bit of a strength, it's got a certain point it'll bend, and then after that it's going to crack or break. Especially the harder the metal is, and we usually like hardness in our steels for edge retention. So the stronger you've got a steel, the more likely you're going to snap that puppy. And see, just fiddling around with that, I haven't changed it at all. So there you go. Thought I'd just do a little video on my attempt at adjusting centering, but I'm not really, like I said, I'm not, it doesn't bother me enough that I'm going to try to risk breaking the blade just so that it would look better to me, because really, that's centering is only something that I think about on traditional flippers and stuff like that has a pivot that you can adjust. The only other way I know that you could do this would take the knife apart and put a spacer or something over here. Then you'd have a gap back here. So yeah, give and take on everything. It's all on what you like or don't like or whatever bothers you. And to me, the blade being slightly off-centered, or, you know, this was more than slightly off-centered. It's definitely off-centered, but it's not striking the liner, so it's fine with me. Thanks for watching.